Hello everyone and welcome to another Thomas video. So today we're going to take a look at Merfolk in Thomas format. So I saw a modern list that went 5 and 0 with Merfolk. So I got the inspiration from there and it was playing some new cards. So that's why we're going to be taking a look at Merfolk today. So we got some pretty interesting card from the Lorwyn Eclipsed called Silver Gill Mentor. I believe this is the first of its kind where a 2-mana Merfolk splits into 2 creatures. Obviously in a deck where we have a lot of ways to pump the creatures, 2-mana card that splits into 2 is actually pretty welcome. We have the Vodalian Hexcatcher as a Lord, Master of Pearl Trident as a Lord as well, and we also have a Mindspring Merfolk, which is a relatively new Merfolk that has been popping up recently. This can also put counters on the Silver Gill Mentor as well. So yeah, just being able to create multiple creatures is actually pretty good for this archetype. And another new card from Lorwyn Eclipse called Disruptor of Currents. This has Flash and Convoke, which actually pairs up very nicely with our Silver Gill Mentor. If you play a 1-mana card into the Mentor, now you have 3 creatures that you can convoke the Disruptor of Currents, which means that if they play something like a Psychic Frog, you can bounce it to their hand and then attack by playing out your Lord the following turn. So this does have some really nice play pattern if you can go Mentor on turn 2. And lastly, we have another new card from the set called the Champions of the Shoal. This is a 4-mana 4/6 creature, which is quite huge for a Merfolk. A stat line like this, you usually kind of see this in green, but it's on a blue card and a Merfolk at that, which is pretty rare. Similar to the Mentor, you have to behold a creature, which means you have to reveal Merfolk from your hand or choose a Merfolk that you control. And when it comes onto the battlefield, you can tap a creature and put a stun counter on it. And whenever this becomes tap, meaning that when you attack with this card, you can also tap a creature and put a stun counter on it. So this card can potentially put a stasis on one of the creatures opponent has, which is actually not bad against potential like reanimators and stuff like that, like against big creatures. This is another way the deck can fight through big creatures. We have this card, Flood Pit's Drowner, and we have the Disruptor of Currents. So we got quite a different ways of actually dealing with big creatures in this deck. And as for other interaction spells, we have 3 copies of Dismember and 2 copies of Stifle. And lastly, we have a Flare of Denials and 3 copies of Force of Negation. So having said that, I'm going to be hopping over to some Thomas Plus 3 to show you guys what the deck does. So let's hop on over. Alright. Let's see if Merfolk can win some games. Strike it rich. Strike it rich. I'm not really sure what they're playing. Usually when people play Strike It Rich, it's like a combo deck, such as this. Let us behold. I mean, I don't have any more counter spells, so if they go like Show and Tell again, I'm kind of screwed. Oh my god, they topped it. Yeah, that's not good. Uh-oh. Something's about to happen. You know, Aatroxa isn't the craziest card I've seen. We can win through that. Yeah, we can definitely win through this. Because of Champion of the Shoal, right? Because this says whenever this creature enters or becomes tapped, tap up to one target creature and put a stun counter on it, so this will always have a stun counter. Can I see what Emrakul does? I cannot. I'm not really sure if the Emrakul can be stopped with the ability side. So I'm not really sure. I think these two cards are actually pretty decent against them. This member definitely not. Miscolor seems pretty good. We'll have another Force of Negation. Tishana's Tidebinder. What do you think about the Tishana's Tidebinder? It's only artifact, creature, and planeswalker. They lose all the abilities, so I think it's a sneak attack. It's a sneak attack deck, right? So I'm not really sure about. It can stifle the ability of the Aatroxa, but that's kind of about it. I think this is fine. What we got here, I guess Harbinger. How good is a Harbinger actually? I guess it's not that great. I guess Tishana's better than a Harbinger. I can't believe we won a game with a Merfolk. All right. Not sure if that was a correct call, but I kind of want to go Mentor and to potentially convoke this thing. If I can. Okay. I guess I can't really keep that. Behold! Oh my god, there's too many. A Stifle. Surely they don't have another one, right? That would be absolutely ridiculous. Let's say they tap the Ancient Tomb here. Okay. Good draw. Okay. We won a game with the Merfolk. Insane. Ooh. It's a lot of Blands. I don't think I can keep this. Much better. Much better. Maybe I shouldn't have even played this. Maybe I should have just gone double Hexcatcher, potentially. Yeah, Malevolent Rumble. Field of Ruin. mean, I do have a lot of lands for that. Okay, opponent's playing lands deck. Okay, strip mine into mulch. Mulch. Okay, opponent surrenders. Harbinger is probably going to be important. Tishana's Tidebinder is going to be pretty important. I'm not really sure about the Dismember. Because I'm not really sure if they're playing Worry's Own Guard. Questions. I think I can probably sideboard this out in this matchup. And probably just give it a go. Seems like a mulligan. And seems like a keep. Exploration. I think I'm gonna counter that. I think I just wanna kind of slow things down. I'm actually surprised they ghost quartered me against the mono blue. Opponents like full on land destruction actually. They have Ghost Quarter, Field of Ruin, and Strip Mine. Okay, Thespian Stage. Blast Zone. I'm so glad I got rid of exploration though. The reason why I countered that was because I actually saw mulch last game, so oh. Harbinger it is. Ooh, a lightning bolt. Maybe if I waited and attacked first, opponent might have played a little bit differently. And then just play the lightning bolt on the Hexcatcher. Maybe I got a little bit frisky. You know? Okay, so this is not good. Let's say they block the Hexcatcher, they go to 2. But let's say if they block this, they go to 4. Two, 3, 4, 5. I think I just need to keep attacking. I don't think I have a choice, actually. Because they're just going to destroy all the lands, right? I don't have a choice here. I think I just need to keep attacking. Man, they're so low, but... No! Okay, so there's no way I can win, right? Since I don't have lands. I feel like opponent didn't do anything, but... we still lost despite it. So this member seems pretty good. I think everything looks pretty good, actually. Maybe having Ghost Vacuum could be nice. Because opponent's like super on the getting rid of... I'm just not sure if I'll ever have a 4 mana, you know? So we'll just go without it. Okay. One, two, three. We have a curve here. Okay. Behold! I think this is probably the hard part. Do I play this or leave up a Tishana's? Right? Also, opponent plays a Brother Hosan, so I gotta be careful. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, I need a counter spell. I need a counter spell. I think... does this fizzle, by the way? Draw X card, then put the +1. I don't think so. I'm gonna try to look for a counter spell here. Didn't get it. No! I think opponent's gonna Brother Hosan me. Exploration. So sad. Oh, right. Maybe we'll have it. Okay, so opponent's looking for a red spell here, right? Alrighty. We somehow managed to win another game. Okay, we're playing against Loris. Not bad. I think I'll actually Do this, because I might actually need another land with the Shoreline Scout. Okay, so we're playing against a Moon Shadow deck. I really miss my Drowner, by the way. I really miss my Drowner, by the way. Come back. Come back, Drowner. A Force of Negation. Ooh la la. I feel like a Harbinger could be decent, but at the same time, maybe not. I'll probably just attack like so. And maybe just use the Harbinger as the Force of Negation target. I'd be very surprised if they blocked this though. A Psychic Frog comes out. They're gonna attack. I'm not gonna block. Okay. Master of Pearl Trident. The opponent goes to 5. We're so close. They're really desperate in looking for something here. I am going to Force of Negation this. Okay, they had another Brainstorm. The reason why I wanted to counter the Brainstorm was I wanted to make sure they don't get a removal spell for the Master of Pearl Trident, but maybe they have it. Maybe they don't. Okay, attacking is fine for me. I'm gonna let this go. They can draw a card. Even if they have a removal spell, I can just play this and win the game, right? This one grows if a Merfolk or an island comes into play, right? Alright. This is gonna be hard. I am not sure if I need to sideboard in Stern Scolding. I am not sure. Stern Scolding is, like, mostly good. I guess it does stop literally everything opponent has as a threat. But the thing is, because we have things like Flood Pit Drowner, Disruptor of Currents, and Champion of the Shoal, are we really afraid? That's the thing. I mean, Harbinger's out for sure. So maybe Stern Scolding's good enough. It's either this one or the Tishana's Tidebinder. I could try Stern Scolding. No interaction. No interaction to be seen. Oh, they play Hallowed Fountain. Interesting. I'm gonna turn one of the Mutavolts into a blue source. Wow! I did not expect that. Into a strip mine as well. Interesting. I think I am just going to play this instead of leaving up a Stern Scolding. I think I want to be as proactive as possible. The Psychic Frog comes out. Behold! I think I'll let them draw a card. Okay, so they're gonna transform.
I'd rather avoid a fight. But I'm not.
I would really love if opponent didn't have a land, but okay, that's not bad. So we're gonna play the Vidalian Hexcatcher and kill the Tameo here.
There's more to learn.
Opponent's been pretty relentless with the strip mines that are coming out, which is making it very hard for us to keep up Stern Scolding. But we do have a Toxic Deluge protection with the Vidalian Hexcatcher. How much do we care about this? I think we do kind of want to protect the Hexcatcher since we have another Mentor coming out. Right? Yeah, we have another Mentor coming out, so I don't think this is a big deal. A Stifle, that's kind of cool. Behold! I love... I love Behold. It's so sick. Yeah, we're just gonna keep letting them draw. Stifle is kind of useless when they have so much mana. Alright, so there's that Toxic Deluge. It actually paid off, the fact that we have a Stifle. Right? It actually paid off big time. Wow, like what a insane Stifle there. They have to pay life. We stifle the land. We have a lot of damage coming out here. Crazy. What's happening? Is Merfolk top tier? Right, I think this will be the last match. Win or lose. Definitely not a bad hand. Okay. I don't know what this means. I think opponent has a Solitude, which is actually kind of bad for me because I have a Harbinger. All right, it's like we're doing this and attack. I need a counter spell for the Solitude so that my Harbinger can actually land here. Stifle would be good if I just need one more land if I want to play the Harbinger. That's it. That's kind of about it. Oh no, Thalia. Okay, that's actually very, very annoying what happened. That is extremely annoying. They have to stifle this. Well, it seems like Harbinger is kind of a dead card. So I'll just bait out, you know, Solitude here. Or, I mean, if they want to. That's the thing. I don't think they would. Yeah, I don't think opponent's like very keen on doing so. Okay, so now we have like a Champion of the Shoal, which is kind of cool. But I think I'm just going to pass with double Hexcatcher. Oh my god. Our Kryptonite has come out. What is that doing over there? Dun dun dun. Alright, so we're gonna Hex Catcher. So that doesn't die, and this will force out a Solitude on the Hex Catcher. And then I'll play another one. But, by the way, this is looking really, really rough. Right? This is looking really rough. Behold! I just exiled the wrong one. Whoops. I did not know it worked like that. Skyclave Apparition? Oh no. Alright, we can't beat the Sword of Fire and Ice. It's impossible. It's impossible. Right, 3 Stern Scoldings. And what else should I have? I'm gonna get rid of a Stifle. They don't have any fetch lands, so I think even like Force of Negation is bad against them. Not too many targets. Maybe I'll have Subtleties instead. Let's go. I didn't know Champion of the Shoal exiles. So that's my bad. Also, that Dahlia made it so bad. Like, we couldn't attack. Mother Runes. I think we'll just ignore Mother Runes for now. White Orchid Phantom. Let us attack. I'll kill the Mother Runes now. Skyclave Apparition. Harbinger. We're drawing kind of poorly. These are not the cards that you want to see. Not at all. Interesting. They're still blocking. I thought it would actually go through, but opponent blocked. I think I'll still kill the White Orchid Phantom because it has first strike. Yeah, we kind of flooded, right? 5 lands when we were playing 20 lands. I guess I should have actually sideboarded out the Harbinger for something else. Cruder. Solitude. Okay. Let's give it an attack. Okay. We'll play the Harbinger. Now the Sink into Stupor is active, but they do have a Solitude, so they're gonna be able to get rid of my Videlian Hexcatcher. Kind of a tough game because they have so many removal spells. Isn't that right? They have so many removals. Alright. Behold. I love it. I love it. Blue, blue, blue. Blub, 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 blub. Oh my god. Right, I think we lost because if the Sword of Fire and Ice comes in, they have infinite life gain with the Solitude and they have infinite draws. So, yeah. GG's. Kind of bad matchup because they play Sword of Fire and Ice and stuff like that, and so many removal spells. Right, so we took a look at Merfolk today. It went surprisingly alright. I expected to struggle and potentially might not even get a game in, but we actually did quite alright. We got stopped at the end by a Death and Taxes deck that was playing Sword of Fire and Ice, which is immediately game over because of protection from blue and just being able to just kill anything on sight. But the deck actually did all right. I think the most impressive card that I played today was the Silvergill Mentor. Just the ability to make 2 creatures onto the battlefield gives it that aggressiveness that 8 copies of Lord needs. So I was very impressed with the Silvergill Mentor. And also, the Mindspring Merfolk pairs up very nicely with Silvergill Mentor as well. Just because this is something that you can play on turn 1 into to the Mentor. And then later on, if you really want to pump your creatures up and you're missing these cards, you can also just use this as a way to grow your board as well. So we have a lot of good stuff here. And of course, Shoreline Scout, being able to, create lands out of a Merfolk, very good card. And you can also fix your land base. Like if you need double blue, for instance, like sometimes you need double blue and you can't cast things like Force of Negation, Flare of Denial, Sink into Stupor. Shoreline Scout can get rid of like extra Cavern of Souls, things like that. Even Mutable. As for like the flex slots, like for example, like Dismember, I think the Dismember was very good today. Stifle, not so much, although we did get an opponent who was trying to cast a Toxic Deluge. When we were trying to counter the Toxic Deluge with the Vidalian Hexcatcher, the Stifle did come in handy in getting rid of their 4th land when they were trying to fetch. That was good. And Force of Negation was very good today. Same with the Flare of Denial. We play 8 copies of 1-drops, which can be Flare of Denial. And Force of Negation was pretty good today against a Show and Tell Sneak Attack deck. And the Champion of the Shoal, I do think this card is a bit expensive for Timeless, especially like with the strip mines going on. But we're only playing 2 copies of it, and the time we had it, we were able to hard cast it. Other times, we were able to put this down on the battlefield against a Show and Tell opponent. Surprisingly, the Champion of the Shoal was excellent against the sneak attack, which makes sense. They put an 8 trucks down and then we put a stun counter on it. And if this card can attack, you will perpetually put a stun counter on opponent's big creatures. So this is unironically a very good target to put down if they Show and Tell, things like that. Let me just double check what the Emrakul says. Protection from spells that are 1 or more colors. So, oh yeah, so this ability actually taps the Emrakul. So if you're playing against a Show and Tell sneak attack list, this actually hard counters them. Wow, that's kind of interesting. I mean, if they don't play sneak attack, that is, if they play a Show and Tell into a big creature, this can actually lock the Emrakul for ever being able to attack, which is kind of cool. One thing I actually missed about this card was that it's not just Behold, it says Behold and Exile it. I was under the impression that this was kind of similar to this card, but it's actually not. You have to actually exile a card and that card comes back into your hand. So I guess there is some synergy here with the Silvergill Mentor. If you want to get rid of this, you can get an extra ETB out of it if this thing dies. And also the Flood Pit Drowner and the Disruptor Currents, right? These are the cards that you can Behold and then get an extra ETB out of it, potentially. I don't really like the fact that you have to exile, though. I think that's a big downside. But like against like big creatures, we actually have a lot of ways to kind of stall, like Drowner, Champion, Disruptor of Currents. By the way, the Disruptor of Currents didn't... We had it in one game, but we couldn't cast it because of strip mines. I do like that it has Convoke, though, and you can, you know, bounce any non-land permanent. Against like Show and Tell, it's a little bit better than the Champion Show because it can even bounce things like Omniscience. And the fact that this has a Flash and Convoke means that you can always just Convoke this card, which is not bad either. But the card didn't show up, so I can't really say if it's good or not. But it has some synergies with the Silvergill Mentor. You know, if you play a 1-mana card into a 2-mana card, you can technically play this, which is actually, you know, not bad. Like, let's say if you go against like a Psychic Frog, for instance, you play a turn 1 Merfolk, turn 2 Mentor, they play Psychic Frog, and then you Disruptor of Currents at the end of your opponent's turn, and you can bounce that card and attack with like a Lord or Master of Pearl Trident. Like that seems pretty strong to me. So yeah, I mean, I think the deck was way better than I thought, but against like a ton of removal spells coming out, it seems like it does struggle a bit. Although against that mono white opponent, they did kind of cheat a little bit by playing a Sword of Fire and Ice. I think I'll also try Elves next, you know, since Tribal is kind of a theme in Lorwyn Eclipsed. So be on the lookout for the Elves coming out. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.